Joining me on this episode of Pro Wrestling Edge is Justin Pilgrim. Welcome back to the show, man.
Thank you for having me back, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm happy to have you. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to do this with me. Um, just to let our listeners know, if you haven't listened to the first episode that of the interview I did with Pilgrim, go back to episode 10. That was released on November 18th of 2019. Listen to that episode first because we're picking up where we left off. So if you want to go back and hear about his start in the state of Kansas, transitioning into working in Michigan, getting with his faction with Kevin Calloway and Sean Tyler, about him being in a music video, all those things, go back and listen to that episode. Then come back and join us. For our YouTubers, there's no video from the first one. Make sure you get that audio in, then come back and join us here. But yeah, it's been a while, man. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, dude. Been quite a while, actually, since November.
Yeah. So let's just pick up where we left off in November.
All right.
We last talked. Your group was Sean, Tyler, and Kevin Calloway. You guys were the Purge, and you just recently, after the interview, made the transition to the Faceless.
Yes.
So that was the first big thing that's happened since we last talked. I understand we've talked about it in the past. There's a lot of Purge gimmicks out there. You guys wanted to stand alone.
Yes.
And I like that. A lot of people weren't happy because they were enjoying the Purge gimmick, but I respect you guys wanting to think outside of the box and stay original.
Right.
So
it was a hard decision, man, because, I mean, all the momentum that we had built up as the Purge, dude, like, it was hard, but, I mean, the final straw was when Kevin and I went down to IWA Mid-South in Indiana, and during, excuse me, during our entrance, someone literally said, "Oh, we have a Purge here on Sundays," and we're like, Kevin and I just looked at each other as like, well, I guess it's time to change up this gimmick a little bit.
But I love what it evolved into. But like I said, hats off to you guys. A lot of guys, they have a gimmick and they're kind of afraid to change it up. To make changes, not knowing how it's going to be received. But hats off to you guys for doing that.
That's the one thing that people need to learn in this business is just to bet on yourself, man. Like, it works. Like, it works out all, like, most of the time. Like, I mean, look at us as the Faceless. We still have a lot of the momentum that we had as the Purge. We're not the Purge anymore.
Yeah. I was able to see you at the December Horror Slam show. I believe you and Sean Tyler were a team that night. That was a busy weekend for you because I believe the very next day was your trip up to Capital Pro with both Sean and Kevin.
Yes. And then I dislocated my arm again.
So that was where I want to talk about next is the injury. We had talked about in the first episode how you had an injury that kept you out for a while.
Right.
And, things were going good at that time. You're getting back into it. You guys make the trip up to Capital Pro in Lansing, which I love the work Capital Pro does. I subscribe to them on YouTube. I've actually went back several times and watched that match that you got injured in. And it was you, Sean, and Kevin, the entire Faceless group, going against Movado. Was it El Ridiculoso?
Yeah.
And the big guy that is a big popular guy up in Capital Pro. George, yes. Yep. And it was a spot where you got injured in the match. But the one thing I want to say about you is, one tough motherfucker, because you kept going. You got back up. You got back in that ring when there was a couple times where I see your boys telling you to stay out, and you're like, nope, I'm getting back in. What was the feeling at that moment?
I was upset because I injured my arm again. Uh, and I don't know, like I didn't know prior to this how to put it back in place, so I I didn't do anything with it. I just left it, and it was no one's fault. Like I was literally just trying to push myself up from the mat, and my arm literally just slipped out from underneath me, and I fell on my shoulder, and it just dislocated again. It was just as simple as that. It was no one's fault. Like, and no one, like, it wasn't a move or nothing. It was just me simply trying to get up, and my arm hit a slippery spot on the mat, and I slipped and fucking landed on my shoulder and popped it out of socket again. But I don't know, man. Like I was sitting on the outside, like watching the action, and I really wanted to just be back in there, and I felt like I was letting people down because I was injured again, and I said, "Fuck it, I need to take this finish," because I was involved. I was supposed to be involved with the finish, so I was like, "Fuck it, I need to get in there. Here comes my spot," and I got in there and took my spot.
Yeah, like I said, I've watched that a few times, and you're 100% correct. No fault of anyone, you know. I mean, the guys that you guys were in the ring with are definitely respected
Oh
around
yeah,
around the area. So it wasn't like anything happened. It was just one of those fluke things. Um, but yeah, you were a trooper. You kept going.
yeah, it sucked. I'm not gonna lie, man. Those body slams I took from George and from Movado, they were not fun. Whew.
And I believe it was a few days later you reached out to me and you were telling me that you got hurt. And I talked about it on the podcast. I was like, man, you know, Pilgrim got hurt again. We don't know what's going on with him. But this one was pretty severe.
Yeah, I think if I would have just stayed out and not got back in, it wouldn't have been as severe. I also think that if the the people in the emergency room the first time I dislocated my arm would have shown me how to put it back into place, then I would have been better off anyways. But I think my dumbass fault was getting back into the match and taking those body slams. I think that messed up my arm more. But yeah, dude, it completely tore my labrum. Like my labrum was completely just done, and that's the tissue in your shoulder socket that makes it deeper, so your shoulder doesn't dislocate. So I had to have that completely rebuilt. That was my surgery.
Yeah, you had surgery early on in the year and you started your rehab, and then quarantine hit,
Yeah, yeah,
global
man,
pandemic. So
it's been rough.
your quarantine or your pandemic of not wrestling started a little bit sooner than everybody else's. So you were kind of about at the point where you were getting ready to feel like you were going crazy not being able to wrestle due to the injury. And now here you go even longer before there's even a chance of you to keep continuing with rehab and doing what you need to do and all that. But how long were you rehabbing that injury?
Well, I had the surgery on January 22nd, and then I was in the sling for I was in the sling for about a month. But I told my doctor I'm like Wolverine. I heal fast as shit. He didn't believe me until I started healing fast as shit, and he's like, "Oh, okay, now I believe you." But I started rehabbing it probably around the end of March, probably middle end of March. I started doing my physical therapy, and then probably about mid-April, I started with the strength training and working out, and now I'm up to working out fucking usually it's about 5 to 6 days a week, working out every morning before I go to work.
Yeah, you're putting some beast stuff up on your social media, which I'll let you plug in a little bit. But yeah, you're going at it with that with those trainings, man. Um,
I gotta make this return something special, man, because it's gonna be big.
yeah, and that's one thing I really want to talk about here in a little bit is that big return that's coming because I'm excited for it. Um, but there's something else you did during quarantine, during all this rehab that you jumped on with, and you're doing a pretty you're being pretty successful at it, and that's your new Twitch channel.
Yeah, man. I started video game streaming just out of the blue. I was bored during the quarantine, and like you said, man, mine started way sooner than everyone else's because wrestling wise, my last match was December 14th. That was the Capital Pro match, and then I continued working after that, and then my surgery was January 22nd, and then I stopped. I went on temporary disability on that with my work, and then quarantine started. So I was bored, dude. Like, I love the time with my family and my son and my wife and everything, but man, I was bored. I was so bored. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start streaming video games. It's something I've been interested in doing for a while. So fuck it.
You posted a clip of one of your streams on your YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
But you've kept that separate from your Twitch, and and I've been telling people all along during this quarantine, if you can support your independent wrestlers, to do so. But you were able to get that Twitch thing going. A lot of the guys did. They said, okay, I've got to pivot. I've got to do something to help my name stay out there. Let's get that. But merch. I am supporting the horror style, the new
nice shirt,
Justin Pilgrim logo, and the new hat.
Yes.
The shirt I know is available on Pro Wrestling Tees.
It is.
The hats were made by everyone's favorite guy, Sean Stockmeyer and Lisa Stockmeyer at Face Kicked Apparel.
Yes.
That's who's done our merchandise for the podcast. But kind of in this process, and I think it's kind of a good way to think about it, just with this whole pandemic and stuff. This pandemic has completely changed the world. I don't know if things will ever, I doubt things will ever be the same as what they were before. So with that pandemic and your injury and rehabbing it and making the decision that you are getting back in the ring and coming back, there's also been kind of a rebirth or a reset or a resurgence of Justin Pilgrim with this horror style gimmick and this horror style persona and this lifestyle. You've got a new mask that you're going to be using, and I believe I was seeing some stuff that you're going to wrestle with the mask. Am I correct?
You are correct.
This is what was the inspiration for this new horror style character, this new horror style gimmick?
Well, the mask is, I've always wanted to have my own special type of mask, whether it be like during my entrance or even just wearing it during the match itself. That's why I always wore a mask when I was with the Purge. Even before the Purge, I used to wear, are you familiar with the Immortals from 300?
Yes.
I used to have an Immortals mask that I used to wear out to the ring as well. And then it got all busted up during a match one time, and I still wore it to the ring because it looked badass as fuck. But anyways, I've always been infatuated with masks. This current mask that I have now is actually a redesign of the mask, the last mask I was using with the Purge. So it's a little bit of a throwback to the Purge. But I've always been a big horror movie fan. Especially Jason Voorhees. He's my absolute favorite. Michael Myers, all them guys, dude. I've always been a huge fan of horror movies in general. So the horror style thing, I didn't think of. I got to give all that credit to Giuseppe. He thought of that horror style when he made that logo that you're supporting right now. And then I talked to him. I was like, hey, dude, I'm going to run with this. I really like the horror style thing. And then I was trying to think of like a monarch or whatever, however you say that word, to go with it. And then I started thinking monster of horror slam, because monsters, horror movies, horror style. So I'm just trying to base it off of my own personality. All the interviews I've listened to from podcasts from all the most successful wrestlers, from Chris Jericho to The Rock to Stone Cold, everyone, they always say, be yourself turned up to 11. That's what this new Justin Pilgrim's going to be. He's going to be me turned up to 11. He's going to be violent. He's going to be ruthless, slow, methodical, just something new that you probably haven't really seen from Justin Pilgrim.
You know, I've had Giuseppe on the show. He does amazing work. I think we talked more about his art and his rugby than we did about wrestling. But man, his artwork, I mean,
He's amazing, dude.
he is amazing, and the stuff that he does, he redoes those Funko Pops. He's got art. He's doing those skateboards. I mean, he's just, yeah, if you're looking to have some kind of an artwork done, you know, reach out to Giuseppe, because that guy's so talented on what he does. And he just did that out of the blue. You didn't ask him to draw you up anything, did you?
No, actually, my wife contacted him and asked him to do it, and then he did it for him.
Yeah, he's just outstanding on what he does. So
I like it. I like it a lot, man.
Yeah, I saw that logo, and I first saw Giuseppe post it, and then you commented. I was just like, this is awesome. This is going to be great. I saw you at the Holly show back in January, and you were, I believe it was right after, I think your week after your surgery.
It was like a couple days after my surgery.
Well, you were like midweek, and this was the Saturday. Yeah. So I saw you there. You were, you know, talking to all the guys and everything, and you came out to support. Obviously, you wish you could have been in that ring that night to help, but you came to support. And as time went on, you've made the decision to continue on with wrestling, and you have this new moniker and this new horror style monster. And Horror Slam has been doing these undisclosed location shows, and I believe it was the third undisclosed location show, which was the benefit show for Wyatt, Aaron Orion's son. You were there, and you got in the ring and ran the ropes a little bit.
I did. That was fun, man. That was the first time I was actually able to do that since, like I said, December 14th. So that was fun, dude. I had a blast. Ran the ropes, took some bumps, hooked up with Logan for a minute. I had a blast.
Now, speaking of Logan, I would have to say, and I'm not just saying this because you're on the podcast, we've communicated quite often since the last interview, so I'm sure you know that I'm not blowing smoke when I say this. My two favorite Michigan independent wrestlers is Justin Pilgrim and the Dread King Logan.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
And, no problem. And soon, you're going to have your big return to the ring.
August 8th.
On August 8th, you are making everyone's debuting for Total Kaos Wrestling. And you are going to be in the ring. It's going to be the Monster versus the King, as Justin Pilgrim takes on the Dread King Logan in a 2 out of 3 doors match. So, from what I talked to Justin Tilley, who is the guy behind Total Kaos, and he was telling me, correct me if I'm wrong, of what you know about it so far, is that to win, you got to put your opponent through at least 2 of the doors.
Yeah, it's a 2 out of 3 doors match, so you have to put your opponent through 2 of the doors to win the match.
And I'll tell you what, I've seen you live. I went back since our last interview, and I've watched everything on your YouTube channel. I watch everything that you've done on Head Drop Productions, which is Capital Pro's YouTube channel. And you're one of the hardest hitters that I've seen around the area here. And you're going up against probably the other hardest hitter that I've seen in the area.
Yeah.
Two of the guys that not only are my favorites, but I truly think of both you guys as friends. And I think you saw my post that my two favorite guys are going to go in there and kick the crap out of each other. And I'm going to love every second of it.
Yeah, I'm going to love every second of it too, man. I love Logan, man. He's awesome, dude. I love watching him wrestle. Ever since I met him back fucking couple years ago at a DSW show. That's how long ago I met him.
Wow.
I've wanted to fight him. I don't want to wrestle him. I want to fight him. I think we could put on a really good slobber knocker of a fight. Because he's a hard hitter. He's got that Japanese style influence. He's a hard hitter. I'm a brawler, hard hitter. I've got the more hardcore, in your face Randy Orton style that I'm working on, and I think that it's going to clash, and it's going to clash well, and the fans are going to get what they paid for.
You know, I've talked to Logan about this match, and he thinks it is going to be absolutely insane, just like you think it's going to be absolutely insane. And I'm telling you what, if you haven't got your tickets for Total Kaos Wrestling, you need to reach out on their Facebook page to Justin Tilley and see if there's tickets left available. I know we're recording this a little bit earlier before it's going to come out. So, but yeah, and I've been saying this since these matches have been announced. I think Justin Pilgrim and Dread King Logan stealing the show. That's my personal opinion. I might be a little biased. I really enjoy both you guys, and you guys are two of the good guys here in the state. But yeah, I think this match is going to steal the show. You guys are going to both leave hurt. You guys are going to both leave beat up, and
Yep.
I'm going to sit back and like I said, I usually have a favorite when I go to these shows and watch these guys, and I let the guy know that I'm not a favorite of. I let them know that I'm not for them, but this match is one that I'm going to sit back, relax, and enjoy whatever violence comes out of it, because I'm so excited for this.
It's going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal. I can't wait, man. It's going to be.
And what a thing for the first one back.
Oh yeah, dude. I was when I saw the match announced, I was super excited because like it's one match. It's a match that I've wanted for a while, and I've asked for it for a while, and now it's finally being given to us. And the fans have wanted it for a while. Every time him or I post something on Facebook about who they want to see us in the ring with, a lot of people always say either Justin Pilgrim or Dread King Logan on either post. So it's a match the fans want. It's a match the fans are going to get, and it's a match that the fans are going to absolutely love.
I agree. You know, when this match announced, I used that Big E from New Day, his meme of him eating the popcorn.
Oh yeah.
That was the meme I post when this match got announced, because that's one that you're gonna sit back and enjoy, the hard hitting. And so now that we've got you back, we know when you're coming back. We have the monster of horror style, Justin Pilgrim. And what I know right now, slows are slowly starting to come back because of this pandemic. But what are the goals going forward for the monster?
Just same goals as last time, man. Just exposure, get my name out there, get the faceless name out there. Just do what we can to get out of Michigan and get into more promotions in different states and get our names out there.
That's awesome. You know where I think you would be a good fit at? I don't know what your long-term goals are, but I could see Justin Pilgrim in an Impact ring. I think you would
I'm
be.
more than down for that.
Yeah, I definitely think that would be a spot where you would have success. Not
Thank
knocking anyone that's there, anyone that's goals to get there too. But I definitely think you could have success there.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So we talked about your Twitch. I'll let everyone know where they can find you on Twitch. Are you going to continue to stream now that you're back to wrestling? Is that going?
Yeah, I'm gonna continue. It's been a little difficult lately with because I went back to work too, and now I'm working like 11 in the morning to 9 at night, Monday through Thursday. So it's been difficult to be able to work out a streaming schedule. But I usually just pop on randomly here and there. So you'll catch me just basically. I stream a lot of Call of Duty. I play a lot of Call of Duty, but I do stream other games like Madden, UFC, random games I've played, Wolfenstein and stuff like that. So just search for official Justin Pilgrim and you'll find me.
And where can people find you on social media?
Literally, you can go to Twitter, Instagram, uh, TikTok, Facebook, Twitch, and just search official Justin Pilgrim anywhere, and you'll find me.
Yeah, that's what I did with the podcast. I kept it simple. PWE Pod everywhere. So official Justin Pilgrim everywhere. Like he said, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, Facebook. Your YouTube channel is just Justin Pilgrim, or is it official Justin Pilgrim as well?
Official Justin Pilgrim.
Just search official Justin Pilgrim wherever you want to find this man, and you'll be able to find him. I hope now that wrestling will be back, we'll see more matches on your YouTube channel.
That's right.
Now that wrestling is back. Is there anything you want to say to your opponent on August 8th?
Just be ready for a fight because I'm coming in and I'm debuting my new character and it's going to be brutal.
Nice. Wow. Justin, I really do appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
And like I said, this is a part of our part 2 series, and we'll have you on again in the future for a part 3.
All right, brother.
But I'm looking forward to seeing you back in the ring. I'm looking forward to this match on August 8th. And I'm going to sit back and enjoy it and see where things go from here. But appreciate you, man. And
appreciate you having me, man. It's always a pleasure when I'm on.
And Pro Wrestling Tees, Justin
Official
Pilgrim.
Justin Pilgrim.
Official Justin Pilgrim. You have any of the hats left, or you sold out on the hats?
I'm sold out on the hats. I'm going to order more soon, just not sure when.
Be on the lookout on his social media. He will let everyone know when there's more hats.
Yes.
So check that out. If you can, support him on Pro Wrestling Tees at Official Justin Pilgrim. He's got some awesome merch up there. You can get the new horror style shirt.
That's my favorite shirt.
It's one of my favorites as well. But again, thank you. August 8th, Total Chaos. The Monster, Justin Pilgrim, taking on the Dread King Logan. This is a ticket that you want to get. This is a ticket that you want to get.
You don't want to miss it.
So, again, I appreciate you, and thank you for coming on again, sir.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.